Unfortunately, the new Risk of Rain 2 DLC, Secrets of the Storm, has opened up to a pretty poor reception, to say the least. My brief opinion on it is I do enjoy some of the content offered through the stages and the new characters, but there are objectively way too many problems and bugs that I'll be getting into shortly. Back in 2022, it was announced that the Risk of Rain IP was being sold to Gearbox. At this point in time, the previous DLC, Survivors of the Void, had already been released, and we were still waiting on a port to consoles, which I believe took over a year. It was reported that Gearbox and Hopu Games had made that DLC. The launch for that DLC was also pretty rough. I've been playing Risk of Rain 2 since early access, and I do really like Survivors of the Void. I believe there was bouncing issues with taking collapse damage and maybe something with Void Fiend, I just don't really remember, but overall, people like Survivors of the Void. Gearbox also helped make it, which to me, I had a little bit more faith than others with the Gearbox announcement because, you know, they already worked on this DLC. It was received really well. I liked it a lot. Overall, it was really good. I liked how many items and enemies there were. Void Fiend and Railgunner are honestly really fun survivors, and I go back to play them a lot. They also added a new tier of items, which was actually so fucking sick. They had these corrupted versions of items and a bunch of other equipment and stuff added to the game. It just felt really fresh, and item-wise, I don't think there were that many complaints. Now, fast forward 2 years later to the launch of Secrets of the Storm. The game just straight doesn't launch on Xbox. People are getting stuck on the main menu. There's an issue with the pricing of the free upgrade, quote-unquote upgrade to the console version, problems with the pricing. It was just looking very rough. Now with this update, they also introduced a split screen mode on console. I saw reports of people saying that plugging in a second controller deleted your save data, which is absolutely wild. After unlocking all the characters, I kind of felt that this was a little bit lackluster compared to the last DLC in terms of pure content. I really love the new stages, the new music, and how the survivors look. This perception quickly changed when I learned about all the bugs. There are a lot of reports of certain physics and damage calculations being tied to FPS for whatever reason. One of the Gearbox employees in the Discord suggested locking to a 60 FPS frame rate to fix these issues, but the fact that it even launched in this state is fucking wild. Gearbox knew it was gonna sell well. Risk of Rain still has a dedicated fan base, and they knew it was gonna sell really well. Definitely released it way too early. Even non-game breaking bugs, there's so much stuff that I noticed, like items looking weird, graphical glitches, enemies sliding around everywhere. Sometimes I can't even interact with things, not loading in. I mean, overall, it's just really disappointing as a big fan of Risk of Rain. To get a little more opinionated about the DLC's content, I think some of the items are a little disappointing and just feel like filler. For example, there's a new item that just knocks an enemy up into the air, which doesn't achieve much other than messing up your aim. There's another one that teleports you when you get to low health, and this has severely fucked me over already 3 times. The way Hopu designed Risk of Rain, there's a lot of thought put into what they're adding into the pool and what these achieve. Adding filler items such as this new red item, which just gives you money. Not very exciting. Edit mouse here. Honestly, the item pool is fine. If anything, it's a bit weak or situational outside of a couple items that are just absolutely broken. But I think comparing it, I just really liked the Void items more. They were thematically cool and it made a lot of sense in the framework of a DLC. Comparing this item pool to the Void items of last expansion, it's a little bit weaker, but for the most part, the items are fine. So with the combination of it being a bit lighter on content and very, very buggy up to a disastrous point, obviously community sentiment right now is not good. There's a lot of people leaving negative reviews. A lot of content creators I follow have been pretty mixed overall. It sucks because reports from modders of looking at the code and why this FPS issue is happening, there's a lot of modders who might just leave the community. If you're deep in the Risk of Rain 2, you've probably tried out mods, and there are whole game overhauls, whole expansions made, and there's a lot of upkeep that comes with that. You know, with every small update or big expansion like this, they have to update their mod and make sure it's still compatible, that all their work is still there. If you break the game so far where modders want to leave, that's really unfortunate and hurts the longevity of the game. I mean, there are some good parts of this update too. I like multiplayer pausing, some of the new quality of life features they added in the gameplay tab. It could have also been a knockout of the park, but it was just a supreme fumble, which, yeah, it's just really sad to see, man. The co-creator of Hopeful Games also sent out a tweet with their reaction to the reception of the DLC, and it's just really disappointing. You know, we got so much reassurance back in 2022 that this was the right decision to sell it off, that Gearbox knows what they're doing, and they're excited to see what happens, and it's just a bunch of bull crap. I find this kind of reaction pretty disappointing. Obviously, I have no idea what it's like to be in that position, to have an opportunity to make a lot of money off of your own IP. It just rubs me the wrong way. I can imagine it sucks to see your game go this way, but I mean, you sold it off, man. I don't know what else to say. Overall, I feel really mixed on this update. There are some genuinely good parts of it, like the stages, music, and characters that I've mentioned before, but overall, it's a little bit lighter than the last DLC. It's causing a lot of problems for new players, and I'm sure a lot of diehard fans are gonna feel alienated after this, so I hope they can fix it. Like, at the very least, I hope that they can fix the game, and if they don't want to continue to update the game, just let the modders do what they want to do, because honestly, that's probably the very least they could do. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I'm really passionate about this game. I have like 400 hours. I liked Risk of Rain Returns. That was pretty dope, and yeah, it just really sucks to see, man. I don't know what else to say. I hope they fix this up and the future's better. All right, that's about it. See ya.